What is up, YouTube? Raticate here. Today we got a ground monotype team, so we're kind of moving through the different types here. Came up on a team I've been wanting to make for a while. Pretty much more of an offensive team than I'm used to. I'm usually used to making balanced and defensive teams. However, ground I think really works best with its offensive prowess. So that's what we went with here. We went with Hippowdon, Excadrill, Mega Garchomp, Dugtrio, Landorus-Therian, and Gastrodon. Obviously a nice, decent core in Gastrodon, Hippowdon. They work off the special defensive mix there. For your sweepers, we got Excadrill, pretty obviously just set up Swords Dance, and then sweep in the sand as set up by Hippowdon. Garchomp, we have a Mega Mix set here, we'll go over him in a bit more in detail. Dugtrio is kind of a troll set, and Landorus-Therian, typical Choice Scarf Intimidate set, works so well. It has a lot of great offensive and defensive utility, and just prowess. Alright, so we'll jump right into it here. First Pokemon, Hippowdon, Leftovers, Sandstream, you're not going to run anything different on that. Citrus Berry maybe for an item, but I think Leftovers, the amount of time that he lasts more than like a few turns, the Leftovers definitely becomes worth it. It out heals that 25% burst heal that a Citrus Berry gives you. For his moves, we have Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Slack Off, and Whirlwind. Whirlwind's a little controversial. You can run Ice Fang on it instead of that, or I think it's a few other like different Fang type moves. Let's see what Fang attacks it gets. Thunder Fang and Fire Fang, but I know Ice Fang is usually the most common, but I do like running Whirlwind. It helps you against, it's like your only check to faster setup sweepers. This team doesn't have a lot of speed outside of Excadrill in the sand and Landorus-Therian. Dugtrio used to be like really fast, however now it's above average, but it's not like anything super scary speed-wise. First investment here, we have full HP and defense investment. Pretty standard here. You needed some kind of a physical wall on this. I didn't want to go full hyper offensive, and you also need a Hippowdon to set stand for at least Excadrill and usually Garchomp, because obviously he gets the Sand Force ability. And yeah, you want this thing lasting as long as possible. Alright, up next we have Excadrill. It's a Life Orb Sand Rush set. You can run Sand Force if you run like a Choice Scarf, but I prefer the Sand Rush. I feel like it helps complement its speed and its attack's already high enough. Earthquake, Iron Head, Rock Slide, and Swords Dance. Nothing too out of the ordinary here, guys. Typical coverage there, and then Swords Dance. You get a decent amount of chances to set up with this thing, especially when it's in the sand. They usually have to switch out into their defensive spec, or sometimes they won't have a good move. They're a lot of things like a Choice Scarf user. It's like a Toxic type move, or like a Poison type move. As you'll see in one of the fights later today. At least I think you will. I don't know. And then for our investment, we have 252 attack, 252 speed. Attacking Nature, because in the sand, you're already so fast. You're doubling that 275 speed. Nothing's going to outspeed you unless you're like a Choice Scarf for Ninja. I'm not even sure if that would outspeed. They would have to run Speed Nature as well, which is a little overkill, if you ask me. Up next, we have the most interesting member on the team by far, Mixed Garchomp. Mega form. I never ran like even a regular Garchomp, so I was a little confused or like a little worried about running one of these things. However, it's been kind of fun to use. People don't always expect the mix part of it. However, some of the more advanced players, they will know it's a possibility. Obviously, Garchompite. I use Rough Skin beforehand. You can run Sand Veil. However, the odds of that ever really mattering is not as high as Rough Skin from activating. Earthquake, Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, and Surf. So it's actually more special than physical. However, only Gastrodon's my only other special user, so I'm really weak to burns, and I felt like I definitely needed to run something that at least had some special options. This thing actually matches up really well against a lot of things with its special moves. And we're going to have plenty of people using like physical earthquakes and stuff like that, so he wasn't really needed for that. We run Earthquake, Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, and I already said all that, duh. But Earthquake obviously just a great stab move. Draco Meteor hits like a truck. Obviously your 120 base special attack, and you can boost that. The 170 attack option is obviously really enticing. However, I feel like the special attack's more important since 3 of our moves are on that. And for other coverage moves, Fire Blast and Surf, I'm kind of rambling on here, like just jumping around a bit. But Fire Blast and Surf obviously give you great coverage against like Grass, Steel, or like Fire Blast, and then Surf gives you coverage against other like. This team's obviously not weak against like rock teams, but like Surf has good coverage against those, against fire teams, stuff that the team's already pretty good against. You could probably run, instead of Surf, you could probably run Outrage and then run more of a mix set. I never really need to check that though. I'd rather play Draco Meteor, however that's another option you guys are obviously free to use. Up next we have Dugtrio. This thing is actually one of the better members of the team. Focus Sash or Trap, you can trap a lot of stuff and then you get a guaranteed kill here or there. Earthquake, Sucker Punch, Memento, and Reversal. This thing can do a lot of trolling, giving you a free chance to go into Excadrill afterwards after using Memento, or set up your sand with Hippowdon. Reversal, this thing gets hit down to its Focus Sash a lot, and Reversal has a 200 base power, so obviously that's going to hit anything for like a lot of damage. You're going to, at worst, 2-shot stuff. You're going to one-shot a lot of stuff though. Sucker Punch, obviously a nice priority move, and this thing's already pretty fast, so it'll outspeed other priority users. And then Earthquake, obviously just a great stab move for him. Investment, as much speed as possible. He's only 120, so it's not like Excadrill in the sand where he's fast enough where he can get away with going with an attack nature. Alright, up next we got, I explained before, typical Landorus-Therian set, Choice Scarf, Earthquake, Stone Edge, U-Turn, Superpower, 252 speed, 252 attack. I do run speed on this guy because I feel like this team's lacking a bit more in speed compared to my other teams. More of a, not really, yeah, I guess it's bulky offense. However, there's some frail members on the team like Dugtrio and Excadrill. It's more of a powerhouse team, damage-wise, and so much speed. So I kind of run speed nature on this Landorus-Therian. Alright, and last but definitely not least, Gastrodon. I chose the East Sprite. I always like the East one a little bit more than the typical pink one that everyone else uses. But obviously, it doesn't really matter. Their stats don't change. Leftovers, Storm Drain. You can run Sticky Hold. However, Storm Drain's really nice because our team's obviously weak to water. And in one of the fights, you'll see I get a nice boost off, and then I do more damage with that. It's not like the fire type ones where it only boosts your fire damage. It boosts your special attack in general. So your water attacks, your Scald, and your Ice Beam will do more damage. We run those two moves, Toxic and Recover. Pretty typical. Pretty typical stall. Not even stall, just like a defensive tank. Can hit relatively hard. Too much special attack. 92 base. So obviously it's not too bad. And then defenses, obviously we just run special defense and HP on that thing. Nothing too special. So this team, obviously, there's some limitations against it. It's really, it's sort of mixed. It has some good matchup against the top types like Fire and Steel. That's why I wanted to make this team. So I always fought like every 10 fights I would do, I would fight at least 6 between Fire and Steel, and I would almost always lose with my other types against them because they're the top types. So I made a hard counter team with this. However, this team does lose to a lot of common types. Water, while it's not a top tier type, is pretty common, and it's still like decent. You know, it's definitely, like I said, I think in another video I said it's like a top 10 type. This team loses to Hail teams or Ice types in general. Obviously just a terrible matchup there. Flying teams, this team can struggle against. However, I do run Stone Edge on Landorus, and I run a Rock type people on Excadrill, so we have some decent coverage against that. And our team's usually bulky enough with Hippowdon and stuff to kind of tank out some of the more physical, normal type users. Yeah, that's the team's kind of general use. You want to set up Stealth Rocks and same with Hippowdon. Wall some of the more special stuff out with Gastrodon, and then your sweeping options. You got a lot of different choices here. Garchomp's more of your wall breaker, and then Excadrill Landorus your cleanup. And Excadrill obviously has a nice setup option. And Dugtrio is just there for an annoyer. He can sometimes give you an option to use Memento and stuff like that. He's kind of like a sacrificial thing. There's I think a fight though where he does get a kill or two. I did like 10 fights with this team. I won like 8 of them. So this team is actually pretty good. I don't know. I was getting pretty frustrated. I was getting a lot of hacks against me. Not in the fights I'm sharing, but I did like, yeah, I think 10 or 12 fights. I won at least 8 of them. So I was pretty happy with this team. A lot more happier with this team than the Dark type team. So now guys, we're going to jump into some battles. Okay guys, for our first fight here, we're going against Sageman. He's got a normal type team. He's got Mega Pidgeot. Oh, you would obviously assume that. He obviously could run regular, but he's not. Kecleon, Staraptor, Type Null, Persian, and Diggersby. I don't really like the name there. Obviously, typical leads you can see here are Mega Pidgeot's usually a decent lead. One of his fake out users like Persian. I don't know if Diggersby gets fake out. I know they sometimes don't run that. They usually go for like a choice band set. Staraptor obviously is another choice for a lead here, but a good lead for you obviously usually is Hippowdon. Sets up your sand, ready to go for Excadrill if possible. He goes for the Surf turn 1, so I was like, okay, I didn't see any Life Orb damage, and he doesn't have Leftovers either, so I'm thinking maybe a choice item, remember that for later. He goes for this Pidgeot here, and I switch out the Gastrodon. This thing can usually wall it out pretty well. Obviously used for more special attacks. See, Hurricane doesn't even do half. Ice Beam's obviously going to truck this thing down really hard here. And I don't know why. I think I'll go for Toxic here in case he switched. In case you want to keep his Pidgeot alive, because his Pidgeot obviously can switch back in against like a Earthquake and stuff like that, and it gets a nice free hit and it kind of gains momentum for him. So I went for Toxic in case he switched, because I thought he might go into like something that would resist it. Not resist it, but like, you know, at least have a decent matchup against it. So Savali, he goes for the parting shot here, just kind of weaken my Gastrodon down. Goes into a Staraptor. So I Toxic there because I didn't think that I would do much damage with Scald or Ice Beam, and I wanted to Toxic his Nivali so it wouldn't be able to stay in for that long. Staraptor gets a drop there. Ice Beam would have killed, but however, that parting shot on the Nivali prevents Gastrodon from being able to get a kill there. So right now the battle's going pretty well for me. I'm kind of like, not outplaying him, but just staying a step ahead of him here. He's obviously down in Pokemon now, and his Type Null has been hit, I think, right? A little bit. It's taking like 6%. However, I know a bit more of his team, some of his matchups. I know the set on that. Sandstorm's back up, and I took out 2 of his sweepers. His team is really offensive. He doesn't really have a dedicated wall, except for maybe Kecleon. However, you'll see what happens in the fight later with that. At this point, I had Earthquake set up, and Hippowdon died, so I got a free switch in with Excadrill. Fake Out's obviously going to stall out some of the sand, so it was a good move on his part for stalling out the sand for only 1 more turn. However, obviously after that, Earthquake's just going to knock that thing right out. At this point, the battle's pretty much over. Goes into his Kecleon. We go over for the Earthquake. That kills. I thought these things were really bulky. I guess he's not running a defensive set. And his Silvally, I played a little safe here and go for the Iron Head. I probably should have just went for the Earthquake. I don't know, I thought it might have been faster. However, obviously this thing is Choice Scarfed at this point. I didn't really realize that. Going to my Landorus-Therian. He outspeeds again and then goes, obviously Ice Beam's just going to take that thing right out. And then I go into Dugtrio. And then now I know he's faster. He's going to guarantee to get me on the Sash. I wanted to go for the reversal here. I was going for the Earthquake, get the crit, and that's the fight. And then we win 2-0. I could have probably just run the Dugtrio after instead of Landorus-Therian. I guess I wasn't really paying attention to the choice item now. But that was a good battle on him. I think in the beginning I just got a little bit more of the momentum, and it kind of just took over from there. And then obviously the Excadrill came through and plowed most of his team once his 2 birds were out of the way. Okay guys, so up next we got a water type team here. We got against Rhythan, he's got a Rotom Wash, Pelipper, obviously has Drizzle when you're a rain team, Empoleon, Greninja, Azumarill, and Keldeo. So obviously more of an offensive water type teams. They can usually run a lot of defensive options besides Rotom Wash and Empoleon, and I guess Pelipper to an extent. So I guess it's more of a balance, but I do think it's a little more of an offensive team. He gets a great turn 1 switch in the Pelipper, setting up the Rains. That's kind of he's gaining momentum right away. However, I can go to Gastrodon here. Predicted the Scald here. He should have probably went for the Hurricane, a little bit more safe. Get the nice boost here. It's going to let me do a lot more damage now. He goes for the Hurricane here. He's feeling about half. Luckily, we don't get confused just yet. Ice Beam does a little under half. However, with the toxic damage racking up, we're going to be able to beat this thing down. I do get confused here and hurt. So actually, there was a good chance he could have hit, won here. Or not won, but like, beat my Gastrodon. Misses the Hurricane thankfully, so I guess that's fair, because, I did get confused, and then I did get hit in confusion. So, obviously, he'll get taken down after this turn. Gets me down to 33. Luckily, heal here. I just went for the heal, because Toxic obviously would have killed. That's a free 50% up in the healing category. My Gastrodon's still pretty healthy at +1. Hidden Power Grass comes out on Keldeo, which I thought was kind of surprising. I guess this person maybe saw a Gastrodon or 2, or maybe like a Swampert they were fighting against, like other water type teams. Obviously going to take me out. However, I did Toxic him, so that's nice. I'll be able to wear him down quickly. Enough to the point where he actually switches out into Empoleon. I think this was kind of a mistake on his part. I don't really know what he was thinking I was going to go for here. Maybe Stealth Rock, and then he can go for a Scald next turn. I thought he should have stayed in Keldeo and just went for damage, honestly. But I don't really have much to deal with that. Waterfall is going to truck me on Hippowdon. I just Whirlwinded. I should have went for an attack. His Keldeo is obviously going to come here and just attack. This is a misplay on my part now. Going to Garchomp. I should have let Hippowdon die. I did kind of want to get the sand up again for Excadrill. That was my only real chance. And as you can see here, Garchomp doesn't really have that many good options here. He's going to lose to Greninja. He's going to lose to Azumarill. He's going to lose to Rotom Wash after getting burned. He didn't really have that many options, so I guess I was okay getting rid of him. And I set up Sand again for 4 more turns now. That's another item you can run on Hippowdon though. If you want the longer sand turns, you can go for the rock that gives you 8 turns. The fact that Keldeo got down to 1% HP kind of really annoyed me, because I gets rid of a whole extra turn in sand. Not that it really matters, because his waterfall takes out. It's just, at that point I was like, oh, this is bad. But at this point I kind of realized the battle's over. Dugtrio is not going to beat through the rest of his team. He goes for the Will-O-Wisp here, obviously. I thought he could just go for the Scald. This is my best chance to pump some damage if he went for the actual Scald, but he doesn't. If I somehow lived, my Sash was already broken. At this point I knew the battle was pretty much over unless the Landorus got some crazy hacks. Greninja's obviously going to take out with extra Sensory. I guess he has that for against poison type teams and such. Gives him an extra coverage move. Go for the Stone Edge here, doesn't kill, doesn't get a crit. Luckily he doesn't crit with his Dark Pulse. However, next turn I will miss with the Stone Edge. My only chance there was really to crit against the Rotom Wash, and then that probably wouldn't even killed anyway, since I'm not an attack nature. But I thought that was pretty good. I got rid of 5 Pokemon in a really bad matchup. Not only is it just a water type matchup, but the fact that he has Drizzle as well makes it a weather war, makes it usually a little bit tougher for me as well. But all things considered, I think that was pretty good. This is like one of my first fights too with the team. Not saying that I would have won now, but like I was just getting used to the team. Alright, so we got 2 more battles now. Let's go check them out. Okay, so for our third battle here, we're going against a Dragon-type team led by Joseph Sands. He's got Dragonite, Haxorus, Garchomp, could be Mega, could be not. Tortuga, or Tortunar, not Tortuga. Salamence, obviously can't be Mega, and Tyrantrum. Possible leads here, I could see Salamence, he's pretty good lead with Intimidate. I wasn't really sure, maybe Choice Scarf Garchomp or like a regular Swords Dance, not Swords Dance, Stealth Rock. He's with Dragonite of all things, and he stays right in for Dragon Dance. I was like, okay, he's probably going for some Dragon Dances. I was really praying he'd go for a second one here, and he does, and luckily I have Whirlwind. I don't know, I was surprised he stayed in because he probably could have thought I had Ice Fang or Whirlwind. However, he gets a little risky and goes for 2, and that kind of costs him. He does get a nice crit here. However, I'm going to be able to kill with Earthquake, even though that White Herb obviously is not going to help. But if he was Life Orb, he probably would have killed after the crit. Obviously, if he didn't crit, Life Orb wouldn't have mattered. But he goes obviously here, he gets a nice free boost on Salamence. However, I'm able to put some pressure back up by going into Landorus-Therian here. Obviously, he can be faster with Choice Scarf and get rid of his boost. Just in case I missed a Stone Edge, he wouldn't be able to kill me in a hit. Sandstorm's down, obviously now, so I can't use Excadrill to sweep through. I kind of sack off Gastrodon at this point because look at his team. He doesn't really have any good special options. He goes for the Devastating Drake. Somehow I tanked that. I was kind of surprised. Head Smash is going to come in, however, though, and finish me off, so it doesn't really matter. Going to Excadrill here, though. Iron Head obviously going to kill, super effective. Luckily, I was faster. I mean, I'm pretty sure I would have been anyway, but like, it's nice that even though I don't have stand up, I'm still fast and things. He should have ran the speed investment on Dragonite. I guess I realize why he doesn't. He runs Dragon Dance, so he thinks that it wouldn't be enough. However, he would have been able to kill Excadrill a turn earlier, saving his Dragonite. Having on the Landers here, the fight's pretty much over. Switches on to his Haxorus. It doesn't really matter if he switches or not. I know he wants to save his Garchomp without getting intimidated for his only chance of winning the fight. However, there was no way he was going to win this fight. He's going to be able to 2-shot me at best on Garchomp. I get a free Earthquake. Obviously, he's Choice Scarf here. He goes for the Earthquake as he's faster. He goes for the Outrage and he's faster. He's going to take Landorus out. He's at 34 though. And here I go in the Dugtrio and that's basically game. He's going to go for the Outrage. He has to. Hits me on the Sash. I reversal. And that's going to take him out. Obviously, he'll take me out as well. However, I still had my Garchomp, and wasn't too worried about that one. I'm pretty sure we can tank our own Earthquake, or our own Outrage, and he might have been confused. So we got one more fight, guys. Let's go check that one out. So I know what you guys are thinking. Poison's a really bad matchup for that guy against me. I have probably the best matchup for ground. However, he does have a few things that are kind of good against my team. Mega Venusaur, the only thing I can really beat it with is Excadrill. And for his Crobat, obviously resists a lot of my... I go for a lot of Earthquakes because I'm a ground type team, and obviously that gives him a lot of good chances to switch into that and get some momentum up on that. So he has a Nihiligo, I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, Toxapex, Crobat, Alolan Muck, Mega Venusaur, and Nidoking. Pretty standard poison type team. You're not going to run too much else. Maybe a Toxicroak. I don't really know too much about poison yet. I do want to make a good poison type team. I want to make a nice, good balanced poison type team. Something like this. A few good walls, and then some really good hard hitting sweepers like Nidoking, and then Crobat's nice kind of support mon while it has good attack and still is really fast. He goes for the Stealth Rock on Nidoking, kind of a surprise factor. Maybe thought I would switch. I don't really know why. Maybe thought I would go for Stealth Rocks as well. I get a free kill there then though, and then Toxapex gets taken down below half. He switches down the Crobat here. Obviously, here's what I'm talking about. Gets a nice free switch in the Crobat. Gets some momentum. I'm not really afraid of him though, being in Crobat, so I just go for the Stealth Rocks here. See, Brave Bird does like only 21%. Big whoop. At this point, I'm kind of just waiting him out here. I'm pretty sure he goes for Defog here. Yeah, he goes for Defog, so it's kind of pointless for him to set up Stealth Rocks. However, now Dugtrio can keep the Sash intact, which is really helpful for me. That's a lot of the problems. A lot of the fights, Dugtrio gets his Sash broken, and he can't really use it to his utmost advantage. Got a free Stealth Rock set in here. I was also going to keep setting it up and letting him wear down from the sand. I go into Gastrodon here thinking like a Scald is going to come in. However, he gets a nice Toxic Spikes up, which is kind of annoying. I go into Landorus here though. However, he backsplashes into Venusaur. This thing was really annoying for me to fight. Like I said earlier, my team doesn't really have much to deal with Mega Venusaur. So I go into Hippowdon here, set the sand. I'm like, okay, I'll let this thing die off the Venusaur and try to get Excadrill some turns in the sand, because that's what I really need to do. However, thankfully he does come out. I thought he was going to wait it out. Not that I was dumb for him to go right for the kill, but he probably should have saw that Excadrill was going to come in afterwards. It's the only thing that can really kill him. Excadrill does really well against his whole team. There's not really much he has against it. Here he goes for the Giga Drain. I probably would have went for the... I don't really know. Maybe a Leech Seed? I don't really know. Just to like be able to do damage after this, because now I luckily get a flinch here. That doesn't really matter too much. I would have been taking out a good bit more. That probably did matter a decent bit, because I probably would have died after I killed the Muck here. Obviously Earthquake's going to come in and just run Train on this, and let me take that out. However, he can go into his Nihilego here, and his Hidden Power just doesn't kill. I think he was waiting to bring something like this in, or his Toxapex, until after I was weakened down, because obviously he didn't really have much to kill Excadrill with from that point. And that's basically that's pretty much GG. However, obviously here he can switch back into Crobat now. He's gonna recover me. He's gonna recover me out for a little bit. So I was kind of worried at this point. While I did think I had a good chance of winning, I was like, oh no, he might get a lot of luck. He predicts here. He has his Toxic Spikes up. There was a good chance he could still win this thing. I was pretty confident I could get him with Landorus or Garchomp, because I could just go for the predict, as you'll see in a few turns here. Obviously his Toxapex will take my Dugtrio out for stalling it out, because Dugtrio can only do about half of its health, even with a super effective stab, Earthquake. Predicted to switch in the Crobat here, thinking I'll go for Earthquake. Let's drop the Draco Meteor here. And that's basically going to wrap up the game, because now his Toxapex can't get through 3 of my Pokemon. He goes to his Toxapex, I'm faster with Garchomp. Earthquake's obviously just going to go right up here and kill it. And that's game. So those are the fights I have for you guys today. Let me know if you have any suggestions for the teams. Obviously, I'm always open for suggestions. What team you guys want me to do next? Different tier. I'm going to get into Ubers for the next video, so check out some videos with Xerneas and the gang, the old gang. I used to do Ubers a lot. But yeah, looking forward to that. So thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot to me, and we'll catch you in the next video.